Hello, everyone. This is Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, the Disrupt Meister. Welcome to the One Bitcoin Show. Today is December the 24th, 2017. Strong hand. All right, everybody, remember, it starts with one Bitcoin. Try to earn your first Bitcoin if you don't have a Bitcoin yet. Build up slowly. Hey, and if you already have one Bitcoin, you're in great shape. If you have 10, you're like elite, right? If you're in 21, yo, you can't be stopped. Get to that triple-digit number, 21 holders. All right, so let's start. Well, first of all, check out the notes section below. You can get t-shirts from Crypto Graffiti or Trezor, Ledger Nano, CryptoHWWallet.com. I think people are buying presents for people this time of year. I don't know. I know the 28th is the fast of Tevet that we Jewish people, we fast for the. Anyway, I know that holiday's coming. There's some other holiday that some other people celebrate, or I don't know what's going on out there. There's all these lights outside. And anyway, I'm glad if you're watching this tonight live, pound that like button. I hope you're having fun. Whatever you're doing, if you do stuff with your family tonight or whatever you're doing, I hope you're having fun. And I know all sorts of traditions go on tonight. For me, it's just another night though. So and I'm happy to be around to do this show, coming from Tucson, Arizona. Okay, so let's start right in here. Let's start with this tweet by Lop. It says, and this is the bottom line, people. What I'm about to say, this should be the whole show. I should just end the show after this, after I read this guy's tweet off. All links are below, remember, that I mentioned. Try to move $100 million of Bitcoin. Click a few buttons. Wait a few blocks, and you're done. Try to move $100,000 of US dollars. Click a few buttons. Wait a few days. Get interrogated and treated like a criminal. Get told you're not allowed to move your money. Censorship resistance. That's what he says. Pound censorship resistance FTW. And I'm not going to say what that stands for. Anyway, guys, if you don't understand the importance of that example, what Bitcoin brings to the table there, okay, that is an incredible thing that Bitcoin can do. Because if you try to do it another way, the government, wherever you live, is going to stop you. It's going to treat you like a criminal. And there's some of us who have experienced being treated like a criminal by the government for doing nothing. This gets around that. You aren't having money. Sending money is not criminal. But this is the government, for whatever reason, makes it into being criminal. This gets around it. This can't be stopped. Bitcoin is the most reliable. Bitcoin is the most popular. It is the best at doing this. Would you move $1 million through Bcash? Would you do that? Would you try to send $1 million? No. Maybe, but Bitcoin, that is the one. That is the one that people trust. You know it's not. All right. Sorry about that, guys. It cut me off here. The Tucson, Arizona issues, but I am back. So let's keep on going here. I was talking about for altcoins in life, you can learn this lesson here. The less stuff you have, the greater focus you can have. So what that means is if you're getting involved with all these altcoins, getting into all this you're going to lose focus and you're going to make a big mistake. Focus on Bitcoin. 2018. That's a new saying there. That's what we're going to talk about in 2018. Just to focus on this Bitcoin. Okay, I wanted to talk about yesterday's show. Not yesterday. Well, first of all, I have done some tape shows that some of you might have seen. They're a little different. Various reasons. I was testing the camera out, but whatever. They're linked to below. Check them out. But this week in Bitcoin was very exciting. A lot of people loved what Rocky had to say, and that is great. Sometimes when I have Rocky on and I let him, I love Rocky. I think he brings so much information to the table. Yet when I give him, some of you guys complain when I give him a 40-minute show. You're like, oh, it's too long. And then when I give him too short of a time, you're like, oh, it's too short. You know, you can't win. He's great. But we also had Daniel on. And that's who I wanted to talk about real quick. Daniel trades altcoins. Now, I have all sorts of people on my show. I like Daniel a lot. He's a great salesman, as I brought up during the show. I do not agree with what he has to say about getting into altcoins. And I made that pretty clear during the show. I want to just make that clear again. You know, he has a completely, he has a different approach. Now, he doesn't even call altcoins. He calls them S coins. He uses the dirty S word. I'm not going to use that. So, I mean, he doesn't even take it that serious. I mean, he doesn't have respect for them. I mean, he knows Bitcoin is the one, but he gets into these altcoins for trading. He says you have to take risks. No, you don't have to take risks, people. But again, he is a person I have on the show. I have all on This Week in Bitcoin every Friday. We have all sorts of different people on the show. Tai Zen comes on the show. He's in the trading too. Lauren Gamaroff comes. My good friend Lauren Gamaroff in South Africa. Hopefully, I'll be in South Africa in March. He likes Bcash. So I have all sorts of people on the show. But I wanted to bring up that, you know, I do not, what he said, the thing is, so many people in the chat were getting so excited when Daniel was bringing up the name of their favorite altcoin. I mean, it was so typical. Guys, you can't, these things are pump and dumps. Very risky stuff here. So again, simplify your life. Try to focus on one thing. That's what that little saying was. The less stuff you have, the greater focus you can have. And you want to be focused, because if you're not focused in life, you're going to make big mistakes. You're going to regret things that you do. All right, but check out This Week in Bitcoin anyway. And it is below. All our guests were great. Who else did we have on? Shane was on. Who was the fourth guy? I can't remember. No, it's terrible. I can't remember. It was another West Coast dude. Anyway, I want to also say, you know, this funny coffee coin debate, you know, people saying that it's time, I need to make small transactions. I have to use cryptocurrency. Why can't I spend my precious Bitcoin? It is a censorship resistant tool. Well, I want to spend it on coffee. And so people are like, oh, it's, you know, SegWit. I don't want to talk about SegWit. That's not the solution. And I want it now. I want Bitcoin to be fast now. But I just want to say half these people, so many of these people in the debate on the other side, they just want to rip down Bitcoin so they can have exponential growth in their coin. And their coin at this time is Bcash. Bcash is the #1 contender of the month now. Again, we saw when Ethereum was. But here's the thing you have to think. First of all, that's not a good, and let them do what they're going to do. Let them have their little argument, which isn't much of an argument. Okay? Because if you see the polls, most people they don't want to use, they know Bitcoin is Bitcoin. They're happy with the way Bitcoin is. They're golden holders, okay? Gold and hold. They use it as a savings mechanism, and that is what you should do. They're not too concerned about the coffee aspect. They understand if everybody starts to use SegWit, they'll be able to buy their coffee if they so desire. But right now, not many people desire to buy coffee with cryptocurrency. And I'm going to get into that soon. But let's focus on, I'm jumping all around here, sorry. But who has the hardcore conviction? I want to know that. Let's do a hardcore conviction test. Would they trade in? I mean, would they get rid of all their Bitcoin for Bcash? because I know that we'd get rid of all our Bcash for Bitcoin. I mean, that's the goal. That's the goal right there. I lost my place here. And also, these people are not, we're sticking with Bitcoin. We've got the conviction to stay with Bitcoin. These people, they switch to Ethereum. Whatever they think can beat Bitcoin, whatever they think they can get their money on, that's what they're going to be on. That's where they're going to be fudding from. That position. That's where they're going to be sending their crypto noise from that position, okay? So I want you to take that into consideration here, that so many of these people, I mean, they were Ethereum fans at the beginning of the year. Now they're BCAT. They just want to bring Bitcoin down. They don't care about the small transact. They're just trying to prod it at Bitcoin's weakness. This they see, they lead, they're trolls themselves, so they follow their leader, king of the trolls, and they do as he does, and that's what he's prodding at right now. And in the end of the day, it doesn't matter. They're going to do whatever they think they can beat Bitcoin. That's the train they're going to jump on that train. So consider that when you listen to all this noise, it is just noise, and think of it from that perspective, and the noise will not affect you as much. And again, you got to have a strong hand here. I mean, I had someone tell me just recently in the comment section, oh, I gave in and I bought some Bcash. And he bought it like at 0.22, at 22% or something. I mean, don't buy something that you can get for free. Don't buy something that you can get that you already got for free. If you know, geez. All right, wait, pound that like button if you like when Adam loses this. There's a lot to say here. Yeah, would you give all of your Bitcoin for an altcoin? No. Vinny Lingham here is talking about how, oh God, he's saying that if you believe in Bcash, you should have a 3-to-1 ratio of Bcash to Bitcoin. And I don't know how many people are really willing to spend that much money to get their ratio up to 3-to-1. Let's say you were a long-term holder and you automatically had your 1-to-1 ratio. How many of those people really went to the next level? And I said, and I replied to Vinny's thread on Twitter. You can check this out. I linked to it below. In order to have this is what I said. In order to have 3 Bcash for every Bitcoin, a holder will need to purchase quite a bit of Bcash. The number of people with that kind of Bcash conviction is far less than at the Bitcoin side of the conviction commitment scale. Do you agree with me, people? So Vinny has another tweet out there. He's telling people, we all got to make peace here. Let's agree to disagree. And then all of a sudden he has this provocateur type of tweet. Let me read it. Civickey. Should Civickey move off Bitcoin and onto Bcash, as suggested by some guy named Brad? We would save a lot of money in fees and clearly not getting any credit from supporters like Brad for supporting Bitcoin. So, I mean, he wants peace, and then he says he's trying to move his company to Bcash. I mean, that's not a good way of you're being a provocateur that way. I don't know what you really, if you were trying to be ironic with that. I don't know. I don't know what you're going at there, Vinny, but I shared your tweet with everyone. I also, this Bitcoin, what we're involved in with Bitcoin right now could be, and I brought this up on This Week in Bitcoin, could be the biggest wealth transfer of all time in the history of mankind. And it could create such political upheaval, social upheaval, wealth upheaval. I mean, this is such a revolution. A political correctness upheaval. Did I say that? And so, I mean, the sky is the limit. So I don't understand how people can have a weak hand and be like, oh, I'm out of this now because, it dropped. I don't understand how people could take risk trading it just to make a little bit more here and there and here and there and everywhere. I mean, this is like, first of all, it's been life-changing for me just to be a holder of it for as long as I've been a holder of it, starting in 2013, 2014, 2015, really ramping it up in 2016. I mean, it has totally changed, my financial position in life. And I can only imagine if this becomes the biggest wealth transfer of all time, you want to be on the side that's getting transferred the wealth and as much as possible. So that means to hold as much Bitcoin. Don't worry if it drops from 20,000 to 12,000 in a week, which it basically did. Because in the long run, think of the wealth that will be transferred into your possession if you have a good amount of Bitcoin. Your whole, it could change your family could be a Vanderbilt family or a Carnegie family. Who knows? Who knows how this is going to end up here? This is such an opportunity. So I can remember, when the internet was beginning and everything. Imagine those. Look what Jeff Bezos did to himself because of the internet. He became the richest man on the face of the planet. Bill Gates also. And this opportunity is open to everyone. Those opportunities, IPOs, that wasn't exactly open to everyone. You could start an internet business, but you could not buy their stocks. There's certain IPO rules, and this is like right now you can buy Bitcoin. It's that easy. It was not that easy to just start an internet company, hope to get funding, and then have it be successful. This is just as easy as buying Bitcoin, holding it, forgetting about it, getting free crypto dividends along the way, and doing whatever you want to do with those crypto dividends. All right. So, when I hear lines like biggest wealth transfer in the history of mankind, I take it very seriously, and I think you should really analyze what that means. Think about the opportunity that is presenting itself. Now, if you don't believe that this is that opportunity, then I can understand why you want to play around in altcoins and want to be a gambler. But again, be a long-term thinker here. Do not be impulsive. Think about this. Really think about this, people. And no, and Bcash is not going to do all this things. Anyway, the chat is still going strong over there. I'm glad I didn't lose everybody. If you want me to answer your questions, you can do the super chat. I think tomorrow I might just have an Ask Me Anything here. Would you guys be up for an Ask Me Anything tomorrow? Leave a comment in the comment section if you want me to answer questions tomorrow. Maybe for 20, 15, 30 minutes, or who knows. Okay, what else do we have here? Yeah, during these drops that we've had lately, and you got to have a strong hand. It really doesn't affect me too much. It doesn't affect me at all because I haven't done anything with it. My Bitcoin's still sitting where it's sitting. But I see that there's been drops. But I also look at the altcoins drop worse than Bitcoin. And this goes to show you, I think it helps show that if Bitcoin goes to zero, they're all going to zero, baby. And Bitcoin isn't going to zero. If Bitcoin, like Tone Base has said, if Bitcoin goes away, they're all going away. Think about it. Think about it. Seriously, there isn't anything taken over after this. It is the king. Again, when I say going away, I mean if it dropped off the face of the earth, there'd be no more cryptocurrency. It is cryptocurrency. Okay. Andreas Antonopoulos has a video out, and I only linked to it because the first question by some European dude is like one of the most statist questions I have ever heard. This guy must be a plant or something. He asked Andreas a question about how at the airport he sees you're not allowed to carry more than $10,000 worth of currency with you because it's money laundering, and he agrees with it. This guy asking the question, he doesn't think that you and I should be able to carry $10,000 across the border because he thinks that's money laundering. He thinks we're criminals. This man, and he's like, well, now that there's this Bitcoin, how will this be stopped? And Andreas gives a pretty good answer. He's like, the world has changed. Bitcoin has changed the world. It can't be stopped. So that was awesome. But that someone who calls himself a man is that much of a cuck to the government that's like, oh, I will follow your rules. It's money laundering. I don't know. It's horrible to bring $10,000. It's none of your business if I bring $10,000 across the border. It's not hurting you, you cuck. What the heck? What business is it of you? You don't deserve any Bitcoin. Obviously, that guy's not going to buy any Bitcoin. He's some statist who wants to follow every insane, archaic, if they said, walk into the gas chamber, he'd walk into the gas chamber too, that guy. That's taking it to an extreme, but and I shouldn't have said that's really taking it to an extreme. But he would do exactly what the government tells him. I don't know the guy personally or whatever. Again, what the guy said really does obviously hit at me because I don't believe, I know what happens when the government takes too much control. You know, it gets people to think it's all right to put people in gas chambers and to shoot them dead in front of pits and stuff. That's what happens when people blindly follow the government. They start doing things for the government that are really nasty and bad. And so you know, when I hear a guy saying he thinks it's good that at the airport, because I am in a lot of airports, okay? And I see all these crazy rules, and I have to go through that. When I go back into the United States, I am treated like a criminal every time. And it varies. You know, some of you are familiar with the one story when I had my Trezor with me, how scary that got. And, you know, I don't like a government overreach. I think it's completely, and I love that Bitcoin gets around that government, gets around government overreach, and, you know, it's going to help prevent situations like that when people are, when citizens are convinced to do horrible things to other people. It'll help cut down on that, on the blind loyalty to the government. So yeah, we're paradigm shift here, and you know, it would be great. You know, I wasn't even going to say something like that. You know, Peter Schiff should really look at it from that perspective too, the government overreach perspective, because, you know, his family fled Europe, like my family fled Europe. You know, around 1905, I assume. I think from stories I've heard, I assume it was around 1905. And, you know, because, you know, it was not good for our people there anymore, because, you know, the Russian government would have pogroms, and people would blame everything on the Jews and everything. And this type of economic freedom helps get around those sort of things. Okay, it helps get around those sort of things because it weakens the government and it prevents the governments from that level of insanity. So I don't know. Peter Schiff he's not listening to this right now. I hope Peter Schiff is not celebrating Christmas right now. I'll tell you that. I really hope he's not. No Jewish person should be celebrating Christmas right now. Anyway, we're getting into other stuff here. Okay, let's get back on to what I was going to say. Okay. Yes, follow me at TechBalt on Twitter. It's been exciting over there. Oh, something that I noticed, because, you know, I'm just talking about everything tonight. There was a time, I think it was a day ago, the BGold Bcash ratio, it was like perfect. The BGold was 2%, Bcash was 20% of a Bitcoin. So BGold, Bcash is really about 10 times the value of a BGold, and it really sticks around that. And I wonder what is keeping it that way. And it you know, it's not exactly now, but for a few hours it was exact. I have no insight into that. Maybe some of you would like to share that. All right. All right. So another Vinny Lingham tweet. And I don't know if this was his tweet or he commented on it. Oh no, so there was an African that he retweeted. The African said, "We are suffering here in Africa. Bitcoin fees are too expensive. Blocks now are too small. 1 MB is not enough for all of us. We love Bitcoin. What should we do because fees are too much?" Okay, let me tell you something. If you're in Africa and you're trying to make small transactions where little fees matter, I mean, if you're trying to buy stuff, and I mean, that is not your biggest. Africans have to learn to save. Okay. I think a lot when people talk about Africa, they jump ahead of the game. They're like, we need Africans to be able to make these small transactions. They can't rely on their currency. Back again. All right, it's going in and out. It is going in and out. This connection is not good on Christmas Eve. Is that the holiday it is today? Oh, I guess I knew anyway. All right, so you're not going to see my face because I just want to make sure it's a little bit easier here. I was talking about Africans. Yeah. So there's all sorts. When I was in Africa, Lauren Gameroff, here's an example. It was over a year ago now. He was giving out $5 worth of Bitcoin to a bunch of people in Zimbabwe. Had they saved that $5, it would be worth, what was it, like $100 now or something like that. I mean, yeah, something like that. I mean, so I really think we've got to, when we're talking about Bitcoin in the developing world, we got to focus on savings before we get people worried about their worthless fiat on buying things. There are a lot of South Africans who have no jobs at all that just get government checks. Now it's very little, but there are, well, it's about 80, I think 80% of the people in South Africa just live off of the government. I mean, it's an incredibly high number. So they're getting this fiat. They should use their fiat to buy food. Okay. They don't have to worry about buying it to buy Bitcoin to then buy food. Don't do that. If you're going to get Bitcoin, use it as a savings mechanism. Okay. So I feel that Bitcoin is a and again, it gets your value if you already have enough money and you can get that out of your country, censorship resistant there. You don't have to worry about Mugabe saying you can't, well, he's gone now, thank God, that you can't send your money out of the country. You can just do it with Bitcoin. That is the value of Bitcoin. So I don't take much stock in these arguments where people are saying Africans can't buy coffee and they need to make little transactions now. If it's so important, then everyone would be jumping on Bcash. Everyone would be jumping on Litecoin. That is not happening. People are not adopting. Litecoin's been around for a long time. People are not suddenly, Bitcoin is a gold and hold mechanism. Okay, enough of that rant. What else do we have here? Oh, yes, 2x. So there is now a friendly fork crypto dividend called 2x. I linked to it below. They're going to have replay protection. On the futures market, it's already 3.5%. I linked to that also on CoinMarketCap. There's another. So again, good luck to them. Good luck to the friendly fork 2x people that are going to have replay protection. If Trezor will split it, I will love to get it for free on my money, or 4%, or whatever the 80%ers are going to pay for it. There's another one called Bitcoin interest. Let's call it B interest. I linked to that below. Be careful with that because they want you to download your wallet and enter in your private key. Don't do that. Wait till the Trezor splits it. It seems like there's there are not a lot of Chinese involved in that one. So that was most of these, there are a lot of Chinese or Asians involved, or Chinese involved. So no one can say that was a cheap Chinese knockoff. But yeah, check that one out below also. Link is below. Okay, Whale Panda has some excellent polls out there, okay? So I am going to read you some of these polls. I linked to Whale Panda. Check out all of his great polls that he has out there. All right, I'm going to go through this as quick as possible here. He says, 1, when did you buy, steal, or mine your first Bitcoin? 42% of the respondents, of the 9,000 respondents, said after 2017. And only 21% said before 2014, like me. All right. Then what do we have here? Question number 2, which is amazing. I keep the majority of my Bitcoin holdings. 53% say hardware and paper wallets. 18% said exchange. I bought it on. 17% say multiple exchanges. That's a lot for exchanges. Okay, here's a really important question that 5,000 people answered. What is your main use case for Bitcoin? 74% said store of value and holding, okay? Store of value and holding, 74%. That is a lot. And 3% said money, everyday expenses. Come on, people. What is this FUD and noise where everyone's saying we need to use cryptocurrency as everyday expenses? It's just not, it's not true. People aren't ready for it. People know you use bad money for you get rid of fiat and you store the real stuff, okay? And the real thing, you can't beat the real thing, baby, is Bitcoin. All right, what else do we have? I've used Bitcoin as a currency to buy goods and services. 54% say never. 36% say a couple of times. 8% say monthly, okay? So, I mean, we're talking, people don't want to use it for that yet. I mean, that's what this whole show has been about, okay? Save before you spend. People, I think a lot of people understand that concept that get into Bitcoin. Be a wild spender, a hyper consumerism people, that just be an 80%er, buy up a bunch of stuff with your dollars, live off the government. I mean, just, yeah. I mean, Bitcoin isn't for you. Cryptocurrency probably isn't for you. Okay, here's a final question. If gun to your head, you had to pick another coin to use or support, what would it be? 44% said Litecoin. 26% said Monero. 25% said Ethereum. 5% said Bcash. I mean, there you go. Okay, so the polls aren't scientific, but, and I hope no one's done the super chat because I haven't been paying attention. Okay, no one did the super chat. All right, what do we get? What else do we have here? All right, maybe I'll show my face again. Do you want to see me? All right, there we go. There we go. You know, I took my shirt off when I wasn't on there. Pound that like button. No, okay. So thank you, Whale Panda. Everyone, check out Whale Panda's Twitter feed. Okay, here's another good tweet. Ryan Walker says, "I've been helping people learn how Bitcoin transactions can be relatively cheap. This is important, people, as long as they aren't urgent. Made a decision tree to help. Until scaling solutions, Lightning, Schnorr arrive, you should still rarely ever pay more than $1 to transfer non-urgent transactions." So I linked to that tweet below. You can see his decision tree. Follow it. If you have a non-urgent Bitcoin transaction, you don't have to pay more than $1. If it's not, how many of you really have urgent transactions that have to be done right now? It's all FUD. It's nonsense. It's crypto noise. Check out this guy's link. Educate yourself. If you really need to do this, then follow his directions. They're out there. They're out there, people. And thank you, Ryan. You know, check out his link below. Always check out the link section below. Strong hand, people. Tune out the crypto noise. Pound that like button. All right. Yeah, Bitcoin is where the big boys play. Okay, so yeah, we were like $19,800. It got as low as $10,700 in less than a week. You know what did I say to that? Strong hand, baby. Had a strong hand the whole time. Peak and valley. We're going to have these in the future again. Who cares? Get used to it. Dude, what is it? What is it now? I don't even know what it is now. $13,000 right now. That's a lot of money compared to what it was on this day in this day last year. What was it? $800, $900? I don't know. So I've done pretty well since then. And so what will the future bring? We have the 2020 halving. We have the Focus 2018 coming up. So, you know, it's a blast. Everyone should be happy. If you bought it for $18,000, then have a strong hand. Have a strong hand. Wait it out, people. Don't panic. Don't panic. All right. Yeah, and I'm Bitcoin Meister on Steemit. And Ethereum modification, EMO. It is out there. If you already have an Ethereum address, they airdropped it to you. So they've got some complex crypto-dividend thing going on that, you know, some of us are going to get it airdropped and then it's going to fork. You know, I don't know their whole thing. I do link to them below. So if you want to learn more about them, but if you have an Ethereum address, go check out the what is it? The other coins, the tokens that you get, and you'll see that you have EMO now. I know on my Ethereum, as many of you know, I have 20 Ethereum, so I got some EMO because of that at that address. And again, I only have Ethereum because back in the day, 2014 at the crowd sale, I was naive. I was like, oh, this seems interesting. I'll send them $6 worth of Bitcoin. I wouldn't do that now, but I got totally lucky then. And I admit that was total luck to end up with 20 Ethereum. But it's, it's whatever. But it's interesting because I get to see all these free crypto dividends that I get from holding Ethereum. It's very interesting. Okay, so oh yes, people are. I haven't gotten to speak about this yet. People are complaining about Charlie Lee selling all his Litecoin and announcing it to the world. Guys, if you're complaining about that, you shouldn't complain about it. This is what you got into with Litecoin. This is what you get into with every cryptocurrency but Bitcoin. They have an element of centralization when you know who the founder is. So if the founder does something, it's going to have an effect on the coin. He couldn't win there. You had to know one day he was going to do something. That is what you buy into with Litecoin and Ethereum, that they have these known founders, that they can do something. That's what the beauty of Bitcoin, that there is no leader in Bitcoin. There is not that centralized point of weakness. And Charlie Lee is a great guy, but and he probably can admit this. He is a point of weakness in Litecoin. So he bailed out of Litecoin, which was the right thing to do on a certain level. But then we have all these people complaining, but they shouldn't be complaining. That is what you bought into. It could have happened at any moment. You bought into a coin that had a centralized leader, and that's what you get. So get into Bitcoin. You're not gonna have that problem with Bitcoin. You're not gonna have that problem with Bitcoin. What else do we have here? Another tweet. Oh, this is from Richard Hart. This is great. You begged for a Bitcoin dip. You prayed for a dip. Hang on a second. You got your dip. Did you open your arms to the gift that was gifted upon you? Will today be the moment you look back at the chart and point, this line is where our family's fortune was made. And so I say, be a doer. Now I'm talking. Be a doer, not a talker. Prove it, people. Because Richard is right. A lot of people talked a big game. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. Okay, it dipped. Is it still too expensive? Are you going to do? Or are you going to still talk? I think a lot of people are going to still talk. 80% of the people who were talking before are going to still be talking now. Okay. But then there were some people who were legitimately thought, it is too expensive, and they're going to get in now. They're the 20%. They're the smart, and they are the ones that are going to look back on this one day and say, this changed my family's fortune. This changed my life, type of thing. And that's what I was talking about at, biggest transfer of wealth in the history of man, perhaps. Life-changing type of stuff here. So very good tweet, Richard. You're calling out the talkers on that. Now remember, you're on a channel of a guy who walks the freaking walk, baby. You look back in my archives when I was telling people in 2015, when I was in New Zealand at this same time of year, you guys should spend $4,000 on 10 Bitcoin, I was telling people. And there have been many people since then that said, Adam, I wish I would have seen that video back then. And baby, you better believe I wasn't just talking to talk back then. You better believe I was buying it back then. And I bought it for more than that too. I was buying it at $700 also. When people were saying, oh, you bought it $700, that was such a ripoff. It's come back down to $500. There were plenty of people saying that because, leading up to the Bitcoin halving in 2016, it got as high as 780 or something. And many people bought at 780, and then it went back down because there was a big Phoenix hack. I believe it was the big Phoenix hack. It dropped down to like 520. I don't know if hardly any of you remember that because you weren't around. And people immediately were saying, oh, you bought at 780. You're a fool. Now if you tell someone you bought at 780, they'll be like, oh my God, you got in so early, dude. You're awesome, man. So who knows? It's all about perspective. It's all about long-term thinking. All right. Okay, here's another crypto dividend. rhodium, their first airdrop ends on the 25th. You've got it, go to their site. I linked to it below. They're going to have another airdrop in the future. You should say, they're very interactive. You can follow them on Twitter. The guy will answer your questions. It's kind of like the Bitcore airdrop, like the Bitcore Crypto-dividend. It's a little bit different. I have all these things I wrote down about. I'm not going to read it now, but it's interesting. So check out the rhodium. I linked to it below. And after New Year, and they are open to suggestions. So after New Year's, you get 5 for every BTC address that you plug into there. Again, you're not giving any private key information, so that's cool. Everything's not exactly clear cut yet with it, but once the exchanges start to sell it, I mean, it's not live yet, it will be good. So there's going to be a part 2. If you miss out on this part of their airdrop, they're going to have another one. Maybe they'll extend part 1, but it's not that many people know about it. Link to it below. Remember, this is your home of crypto dividend information right here, the Bitcoin Meister channel. Pound that like button. Oh yeah, so I basically said this throughout the show, that people refusing to use SegWit or yelling about not knowing about SegWit, complaining about the fees, that is the latest crypto noise. That is what you have to ignore. There's a lot of people that are just going to jump on that theme, and you got to be ready for that. They just retweet the same things over and over again, just by different people stating the same thing over and over again. And it isn't good for the price of Bitcoin that they're spreading this FUD, but you just gotta have a strong hand. And it will pass. And you ignore it. You post your own things. What's fair is fair in social media. I said in a video recently, you should use BGold for daily if you really need to make little daily, small little transactions, use BGold, because maybe that'll pump the price of BGold. That was a friendly fork. We all got that for free. A lot of us are holding on to it, whatever. And again, if they won't accept your BGold, go trade it in for Litecoin. Litecoin is cheap. Again, people aren't demanding these things right now. They'd be going up in price so much. I mean, they'd be the #1 cryptocurrencies on earth if everybody wanted to make these little coffee transactions all the time. It's not happening. I just read you polls that showed that people don't care about little transactions. People are holders in Bitcoin. People want censorship resistance. People don't want to deal with government oppression. This is what is the glory of Bitcoin. Okay. I thought about how some of these, we're getting, if the Trezor splits all these future crypto dividends for us, remember, we've only received, we've received Bitcore also. That took some action though. But we've received BGold and Bcash, but maybe we're going to receive some other ones in the future. And for some of the guys who have a good amount of Bitcoin, they're going to get a lot of these crypto dividends. And maybe some of the guys will want to start charities. Like, if I get a bunch of B Diamond, and maybe I want to give away all of my B Diamond and start up the Adam Meister B Diamond Fund, where I will fund some guy out there who wants to start a business to help men or something, to help promote men's rights. I don't know. I'm making all this up as I go along. But I mean, that would be cool. Some of the big holders of Bitcoin out there that start to get, and I'm not saying give away anything. I'm just, people are trying to paint a negative spin on these crypto dividends, like, oh, they're cheap Chinese knockoffs. Well, if you get enough of it, you get in terms of value, it's quite a bit. And a lot of people would appreciate, a lot of people don't have a lot of Bitcoin, and they would love to get a little bit of a jump start. So if you gave them like 100 B diamonds, they'd be pretty darn happy. That would be a pretty nice fund to start, 100 B diamond fund. Maybe I'll start something like that. I'll have a challenge. Like, I'm gonna start this fund with 100 B diamonds. I don't know what this thing even does, but you could split it on your Trezor. People out there to contribute 100 to this fund. Maybe we'll have like 1,000 B diamonds in one fund. Who knows what that will be worth? Maybe that'll be worth $300,000, and we can give it to some people who need it, who want to start awesome manly businesses or whatever the theme. about some, if you check out some videos lately, I've been talking about how in this day and age, it is men are susceptible to many different lawsuits and all sorts of government oppression. They're expected to pay all sorts of ridiculous taxes to fund all sorts of ridiculous programs. And Bitcoin and crypto dividends it's a way of opting out of that. I just gave you an example where we can create our own charities and support our own, and if these men that we choose to support in charity, if they're not politically correct, then too bad. No one can stop us. No, you can't stop us. You can't stop us because we have the Bitcoin. And if you were smart and you stockpiled a lot of, the more Bitcoin you have, the more freedom you freaking have. Trust me about all that. And by the way, again, someone tell me where to go next. I have no idea where I'm going next. Seriously, if you tell me to go to your town next and it's in a pretty warm place, yeah, I might show up there on next week. That's the kind of freedom I have. I mean, it's awesome. All right. What else do we have here? This show has been very long. Pound that like button if you've lasted this long. All right. And yeah, again, that Bitcoin can create these child coins, these crypto dividends that you can use, because if you hate that Bitcoin is only a gold and hold type of coin, if you dislike that, well, guess what? Even if you hold Bitcoin, you're going to end up with all these other coins that you can use, that you can send very cheaply to other people, that don't have scaling issues. That is the awesomeness of Bitcoin. That you're going to end up with coins that do different things from Bitcoin just by, so it is better than a savings account. You're getting paid in different forms of interest. And again, you could trade them all in for Bitcoin, which I suggest you do. You're trying to always increase your Bitcoin value. But again, if you don't want to do that, then you can play around with these things. And so there's no complaining. But again, most people out there are, even people that play with altcoins, they just want more Bitcoin. Despite that it's so slow and expensive, supposedly, they still want more Bitcoin. They're not like, oh, I got to buy some Bcash. Oh, I need that Litecoin. I really need that Monero. No one's saying, well, apparently some people that sell drugs need Monero. I heard. I mean, no one's ever told me like, yeah, man, to sell XYZ drugs, so I needed some Monero. I mean, the things you hear about Monero, I don't know if it's true or not. So finally, Adam's, I have a link, a song that is an awesome song. It's linked to below. You really should listen to it. It's by Jefferson Airplane. It's almost 50 years old now. Volunteers, it's called. It is a great song. It reminds me of what we're going through in Bitcoin now. Start the revolution, baby. Start the revolution. You'll listen to this song. I linked to it below. Volunteers by Jefferson Airplane. When Grace Slick was a beautiful woman back then. She no longer is very attractive, though, because she's like over 70 years old now. And drugs did not do her well at all. Don't do drugs. Or you end up like Grace Slick. Adam's Frugal Health Tip of the Day. I decided to, people wanted frugal. And so again, the Bitcoin part of the show is over. You can tune out if you don't like hearing these kind of things. But some people like when I talk about frugality and health. And I combine the two today. Baking soda, people. Learn to love baking soda. I only have brushed my teeth with baking soda since 2014. I've only washed my hair with baking soda since 2014. So you don't put all these nasty chemicals from shampoo and toothpaste in your body, on your body. I go to the dentist at least once a year, and he has never asked me anything about my teeth. My teeth actually says, my entire family goes to the same dentist, by the way. He tells me I have the best teeth of all my family members. And I'm just laughing. One of my anyways, some of them are my family members a little older. They don't have all their teeth anymore. But no, and so there's no noticeable difference. He doesn't say, oh, why aren't you using your fluoride toothpaste? No, he says the opposite. He says your teeth look great. And so my hair looks great. I wash my hair, and I also use as deodorant. I use baking soda as deodorant. So it is a great way to save money and be frugal. But it's also a health tip because you're not putting these nasty chemicals inside of you. And I got to tell you, I feel great. I mean, even before I switched, I've always felt great. I can't say, oh, I feel better than I did before, but my hair is still here, isn't it? And my teeth are still in great shape. So, hey, try it out. It'll save you some money. You'll be able to use that money you used to spend on, the deodorant thing might be a little extreme. Yeah, you gotta be able to control that a little bit. Some people sweat more than others. But in terms of toothpaste and shampoo, hey, try it out. You've got nothing to lose. You've only got money to gain, and you've got health to gain. Maybe you're allergic to your shampoo. Maybe you're allergic to your toothpaste, and you don't even know it, and you're going to find out that you feel a lot better. Okay, everybody, have fun with whatever you're doing today and tomorrow. I don't know. It's just a normal day for me, but pound that like button. I'm Adam Meister, the Bitcoin Meister, Disrupt Meister. Remember to subscribe to this channel, like this video, share this video. Do check out the notes section below. Maybe we'll have Ask Me Anything tomorrow. I will definitely have a show tomorrow, though.